Welcome everybody to the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Jemshi.
And I'm Pescador.
And with us today we have the 8-Bit Dojo. We have GeneralAndrews and SpazeeMcGee.
What up?
So, part of our podcast, we do like to interview Twitch streamers and other people of the gaming world. And we also have our own gaming news segments. But this time we like to introduce the 8-Bit Dojo, who are their own gaming community that we would like to, elaborate on their other stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about their community and what it means to be a part of the 8-Bit Dojo. Either one of you guys can go ahead and take it from here.
Well, to be a part of the 8-Bit Dojo, for anyone to really understand, is that you have tons of options on Twitch, the internet, or any social media. And so what we feel is going to be different about our community than how other individuals might view communities when it comes to Twitch and other social media is that ours is centered around getting to know each other. And you think, well, that's normal. That should happen at any point in time between two individuals or many individuals conversing. Well, that's not quite the case. A lot of people feel like they have to promote themselves in so many different manners that they can't have a normal handshake type of conversation and just talk to each other. And that's where we come in, that we want to provide that type of let alone atmosphere, but also even the due diligence to follow up on that, because some individuals might not realize that all they talk about is themselves and, hey, I am this, I am this, I am this, when they actually have so many other interests and wants that actually make them who they are, and they're not just a streamer, they're not just an entertainer. And so we want to be able to provide that, and that's what the 8-Bit Dojo community comes into play.
Gotcha.
So when you guys go about your community in general, who's able to join the 8-Bit Dojo?
Anybody. It is completely open to the general community. We actually founded this back in 2016. It's been, it's been a little back and forth. We've kind of changed up the way we do things over the years. But yeah, no, the community is completely open to anyone, especially streamers and content creators, that are trying to get their footing. But obviously we want everybody to, like General said, interact in a organic way, to actually want to get to know each other on a personal level versus just trying to get to know each other professionally, like right off the get-go. Like, here's, like you said, spamming links and saying, here's what I do, and like hoping that somebody will come, without actually trying to make a connection with anybody. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. We also wanted to create a community that also was like a hub for our viewers. And that is another big thing, about the whole growth behind the community and the stream teams that are in the community is, getting all of our viewers involved so we can have these special community events or special events with each specific team and provide them an extra level of content. And yeah, that's it.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on the team aspect of the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So where it comes in, like he was talking about, involving all the different communities of each individual streamer that happens to be a part of the 8-Bit Dojo, if that's the 8-Bit Dojo stream team, or if that is ESN. The idea kind of revolved around the origination of ESN, the stream team, and their 24/7 want for constant content, because this is the 2019 year and only going forward. And when you don't have content going, that means somebody else is going to have their eyes going to somebody else's content. So we wanted to be able to find a way to provide that without having anyone work themselves to death by trying to do like 24-hour streams all the time. And so when we came up with this idea of the 24/7 content, we thought, why not have everyone have their communities interact with each other? Because they're going to find people that they want to talk to, and they won't be forced conversations. They'll be natural conversations. They'll just ask, how are you doing? And eventually all they ask about is each other's pets, because that to them is their connection that they have garnered. It's not about games anymore. It's not about streaming or becoming popular anymore. It's just about getting to know that person. Hopefully they're having a good day. And what's funny is when you start to build relationships and create friendships, people want to come and hang out and want to watch and want to be involved with you, no matter what that means. If that's with a gaming-centric thing that you're doing, or if it happens to be a streaming-centric thing that you are applying.
Gotcha, and I think that also has the element of kind of like sharing a little bit of your viewer base as well, where like one viewer can pop in from one streamer to the other, and then they can feel like they're still part of the stream. They don't have to, they have some people to know. Kind of like walk into a party, you got somebody to know that you can talk to.
Yes.
But you can also kind of have them introduce everyone else to you, to that new stream, and it feels like a lot more welcoming, and it kind of speeds up that phase where, kind of like when you're watching a streamer and you're not sure entirely if you want to stick around or not. It's kind of easier to kind of hang out and feel like you're with somebody and more friends who like, well, if they're friends with my friends, I like the idea of people saying that.
It gives you that feeling, that comfort, like, okay, I'm around a lot of people I already trust. Hopefully that means they're all going to understand my sense of humor and we can all kind of meet in the middle here instead of, because like sometimes someone comes in with a joke and right away you're like, that type of joke is way too borderline. And I don't even, I don't know you yet because they're a new individual, let's say, right? Versus if I go and say the same type of joke in, let's say, Spazzy's stream, it's going to be fine. He knows me. He knows where I'm coming from. There is this understanding. Well, by us having this whole shared community aspect across all these different places, not just, different types of content, but around the world as well, that people are learning things about each other's cultures at the same time. Right. So there might be something as simple as what is that food that you happen to have, right now? And then it creates all these like, I didn't know that happened here. Oh, hey, I have a question about this. And people start learning other people's cultures, let alone about the individuals as well.
And I think another cool aspect to our community, too, is the fact that, each one of our streamers that are a part of either of the teams are vouched for. These are people that and can trust that will be good content creators, that will be susceptible to being a lot more friendly to new people coming in from these other communities. There's a lot of, like Jen said, a lot of bleed over from other communities. And so they know that, if this person's rating an ESN or an 8-Bit Dojo stream team member, that they're going to be good people that are willing to work and network with other people or, just be friendly in general.
So maybe you want to elaborate on how you become part of ESN and what ESN does. Like, what is ESN? Like, what do they do?
All right. So the 8-Bit Dojo team, let me kind of start with that because that kind of leads into everything. What we try to do with the 8-Bit Dojo team is that is kind of a proving grounds or a training grounds of sorts for new streamers that are in the community. You have to gain a certain role by being interactive in the Discord. Once you hit that role, it's, I think level 10 is what we have it set as. You get access to the application for the 8-Bit Dojo stream team. We then actually hand that off to our stream analysis guy, which is Flibbity Flam. He's another awesome streamer in our community. And he actually goes through and analyzes each and every single one of those applications by hand and, kind of checks out whether it be their branding, chat interaction, social media interaction, etc. And they kind of grade them on a scale. And then if you hit all the marks that we think, you are somebody who is going to be susceptible to the way we do things, be a sponge to all the information we're giving you, then we will bring you on to the 8-Bit Dojo stream team. Now, once you're on the 8-Bit Dojo stream team and you have hit, all those marks, you have been a huge part of the community. You have a 15 viewer plus concurrent viewership, and you're doing everything you need to do within 3 months or about every quarter. We do reviews and we can decide whether or not we want to bring somebody up onto the ESN. Now, ESN side is more of the business-centered side of the community. We're more of the more grounded representatives of the community. And so we want to make sure that everybody that is brought onto that team is a lot more vouched for.
And with that being said, not just vouched for, but also is excelling all of our team mantras, the want to grow together, because a lot of individuals, as you're talking about the whole sharing of communities, things like that. Some people say that's a great idea because they think about themselves. What we do as this time goes on, and it happens with anyone in anything to do with the business or entertainment industry, is that they start to kind of view a little bit more of, they try to pull back a little bit. But our idea is to constantly open up. It's tough. It's not easy, right? But constantly opening up and constantly willing to work with another individual, because you can't always get to the next level of something by just assuming you can do it on your own or that you can just pay somebody to do it. You're going to have to find a way to come up with a rapport with individuals to be able to shake their hand and say, hey, I'm going to scratch your back if you can scratch my back, because now we just did double the work with the same amount of time spent. And by doing that, we are able to now provide more for the community, not just ourselves, not just for our streams, but also the community that resides within the 8-Bit Dojo. And so by doing this type of stuff, be it 24/7 content, be it community events, be it community night, giveaways, and other things that are going to come in the future, ranging from merchandise to the blog content, podcast content,
Yeah, well, that'd be awesome.
There's a lot of good stuff that's about to be coming through, but the reason why it's going to happen is because those on the ESN stream team understand that they want to work together to create something bigger than just themselves or just themselves and a friend. They're like, wait, how can I do all these different types of things that I have inside my mind, but I just don't know how to execute? By working with each other, we're able to execute those things now.
Yeah, and with the 8-Bit Dojo team, just kind of an added thing is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build integrity. We're trying to build leaders for this community.
Yeah, we're against a pyramid style of how a lot of people view communities, right? Is that it's going to seem like a pyramid because we're talking all the time. Right? Because individuals have to get more comfortable getting themselves up to the level of wanting to talk and engage people all of the time. And that's what it kind of takes to really be more and more involved. But more and more people are starting to do that same exact thing where it's not going to feel like that top heavy. You're going to see it's going to be right here. And the only people that are on the below are the people who are not staying involved. The people who do stay involved are creating, let alone they're creating great content, they're also creating a business model that's going to be sustainable for them. And they're creating friendships. Because at the same time, I don't know how often at any type of work you've done in the past, be it those simple jobs you started out when you were a kid, moving up until now, you created some type of friendship or acquaintanceship with individuals that you worked with. Wouldn't you want to be doing that in the realm of something that you actually want to do, not what you just had to do to build up your resume, to get a little bit of money in your bank so you can finally afford a car and go to that next big job? Don't you want something that's actually sustainable to take with you for the rest of your life? And that's what we're hoping to provide with this.
Yeah, and I like the idea that you guys have with, there's that, the pyramid, that instead of having the top and the bottom, it's kind of that side, people at the quote-unquote top, I guess, are treated as equals to everyone at the bottom. You're able to talk and communicate just as if you were, on the, the level isn't something that would, you're only going to talk to people who are at a level below you, Yeah,
our votes don't count more than somebody else's. Our ideals and premises are around, we're going to talk more because we're ready to go. We're excited about this. We already see what we have in the vision. Others might not know how to say what they want to say and where it fits within that vision. So at first I might be just learning and being like a sponge, like Spazzy said, and soaking all this up. Then eventually they kind of get it. The light goes off and now they're being involved. And again, it's turning from this to way more of an even scale. And guess what? We want that more because that means there's more growth for everybody. But what people don't realize is honestly in a top heavy system, it's gonna max out at some point, and that's not good for anybody involved. It's very unhealthy, first off, because it creates all the toxicity when there's something like that, and then secondly, it stops growth. And in this day and age, when you have hundreds, thousands of options of things to do, be it channels to watch, things to go out and do outside, do on your app, your phone, whatever it is, we're trying to find ways to make it all one central location so everybody can benefit and not just us.
So how did this idea of the 8-Bit Dojo come about? What made you decide to do this?
Originally, the 8-Bit Dojo was my kind of thing that I had started when I first started streaming. I didn't meet General until, I don't know, about 6 months to a year into my streaming career.
Yeah, I'd say, for your streaming career, correct. Because I streamed a little bit longer than he did before.
Correct. But I just wanted to kind of create a, just like anybody else that had started a community, I wanted to create a area where, we had like-minded people working together and being able to grow and work with one another over time. Whenever everything started to kind of take more of a business turn is when I met General and his mindset, as you well know, and he's just been a positive influence to everything, that we have done going forward. And especially the biggest move being bringing in his stream team, ESN, into our community and combining our communities together. Everything's just really, really just turned into something bigger than I had ever imagined it originally. Because originally it was just like, this is nonchalant, just everybody, streamers piling in. We're all just trying to help each other and blah, 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 blah. Well, without a lot of structure on this platform, especially a platform that is very, very, very competitive, you weren't seeing a lot of sustainable growth for everybody involved. So this allows everybody to have, a lot of integrity involved. If we have specific people who are trying to play games, so to speak, whether that be, certain streamers are just trying to watch, let's say, just the leadership, like me in general. We are able to tell, if they're trying to play a game of us be watching us more than other people, playing favorites, etc., to try to get one up on other members. We were able to track this through watching their interactions with everyone else.
So to extrapolate on just a smidge more, is that what happens in any type of business, be it the entertainment industry, which I like to reference this a lot because people don't realize being a streamer is being an entertainer. Like,
exactly.
The majority of what you're doing is being an entertainer, at least on your stream. Maybe when you do your Discord, your other social content, maybe it's a little bit more dialed back. But when you're on camera and you're performing in front of it, you are an entertainer. And that's it. Again, if you're trying to make this a business, if you're just doing it for fun, well, maybe it's just a chill session for you. But some individuals take the route of trying to play favorites because they think that's going to garner the best response for the least amount of time involved. What we're trying to show is just like any real business and being any real entrepreneur is it takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication to make anything grow. So you better be upfront, you better be real. Otherwise, we're just going to move past that because we've seen through, thankfully, this has been years of doing this, that now you can see this because some people are like, oh, no, it's fine. Oh, my God, they're actually really mean. And so you only find that out as time goes on. But we've recognized some patterns and stuff like that so we can protect the individuals inside of us, not just ourselves, but protect those as well. Because some people are like, oh, well, this person's doing great. I see them all the time. That's not the idea behind. The idea is, are they treating everyone as equals, right? We can't control what anyone does. All we can do is do our best to try to find out how do we keep everyone who has a like-minded interest in being selfless and not selfish all on the same table. And if we can do that, then we're doing our jobs right. If we're not doing that, that's when we're slacking, and then we become more and more like any other community. Our idea is always being involved to the degree that everyone, as much as possible, is on the same page.
So how do you plan on dealing with toxicity? I mean, you said that yourself that anyone can join this community. And I understand that there's a lot of people that are a lot of communities that deal with that toxicity. And sometimes they don't handle that. How do you plan to handle that and keep that out of your...
Well, and again, that's a really good question because you think, oh my gosh, what are you guys going to do? You let anyone come in and stuff's going to happen. People are going to start spewing and blah, blah, blah. They do. It's still going to happen. But because we're taking the route of long-term sustainability and not trying to rush anything, it becomes a lot more controllable. There's still moments where like it happens in the middle of the night and most people are asleep or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this crap's happening in Discord. But that happens as time goes on, more and more people will be involved to where we can mitigate that even faster. But because again, we're taking this step-by-step approach. We're not trying to take leaps and bounds where we can't keep up with the growth or exposure, the progress of everything. I think it will always be attainable for us to maintain the status quo of it being a safe and friendly environment.
And another added thing to that is we have roles that are set, so you gain specific access to things. So people can't come in and spam a bunch of dirty pictures or anything like that. That is NSFW, that kind of thing. On top of that, we have, very, very strict and set in stone rules for each thing. You can read that on our welcome page in our Discord. And on top of that, as well as an added layer, is we have a very, very active staff, not just moderators, but also people who are very, very involved and can point things out to either me or the moderation team to get rid of people if they aren't doing things the proper way. So.
And we don't really have to extrapolate more than that because I'm sure anyone here knows what the inappropriate word list that people could choose to say and spam all over the place. So
yeah,
get
correct.
Cleaned up as soon as possible.
I know earlier you touched on events. I love events. People love events. What events are you planning for your community in general?
Okay,
you want to go ahead and talk about the most recent one that we're actually planning here?
The one that's about to be launched coming here August 6th is actually a return to an event that myself and Luxy did a long time ago because we used to be big time into speedrunning Contra. All right, so okay, again, let's make this, how's this an event if it's just you guys doing it? Well, due to the sheer intensity of speedrunning a game like Contra, it's actually very taxing physically. So there's basically myself and Luxon retired from it because it was just too much. It was literally too much physical exertion to maintain a high level of content. So we stepped away from it. But a lot of people in the community, like I'm sure any of us know, when we start to make different types of content, we lose out on the people who only want us for one specific type of content. And it's like, oh man, I thought you might like this too. They don't. Okay, whatever, it happens. So there's those individuals, though, that have stayed around through all the content are like, man, I wonder if one day you guys are going to do that again. So guess what? Let's throw back. And let's not just make it a throw. Let's elevate it. Let's make it even better than last time. So how are we going to do that to make it better than last time? We're going to do a couple of things. Not just already have set up runs that we will do and attempt to do extremely well at, but also we're going to have the audience have an opportunity to alter those courses as best as possible if they so choose to, and to allow us to have the focus to do some of these challenges at a high level. We're also going to have two commentators during the entire time. So it's going to be this whole over-the-top event, let alone is it going to be myself and Lux and Phoenix, who is our community manager for the 8-Bit Dojo, speedrunning Contra 2 at this, insanely fast pace. It's just going to be, don't blink or you're going to miss it because it's going to be amazing.
No, that sounds fantastic, and that's fantastic that you're actually getting the community involved. I know that it's tough to get a large number of people to get involved in, and it's tough to plan these events because it takes a lot of planning and effort to do so. So with that said, yeah, I was going to say, how do you plan on getting everyone involved? I mean, there's different time zones, different slots. Are you planning to have more events than just this one right off the bat?
So
correct.
With that being said, just like what he said with the correct is that those that are involved in the event need to plan it far enough out in the future, like you said, because it takes time to figure these things out. We want to have other events at other intervals of time in the future, but again, that means it's got to be planned. It can't just be let's throw it up on the board and hope it sticks to the wall kind of situation.
Of course.
We got to be planning, and that way we have a chance to promote it. So guess what? It's exciting, hopefully, for everyone. Then we can learn from each event what was good, what was not good, because we want to continue to make sure our content's not just good enough, it continues to get a little bit better every single time.
Yep. And right now, it is our current plan to at least get these ESN events off the ground once a month is our current plan. So as well as that, on top of those events, we are going to try to get together community game nights, as well as we're still looking into it, community like either movie or TV show nights. We're still looking into that because couple of the things we had access to have been taken offline. So we're trying to figure out ways that we can do that, with the community and be able to enjoy that kind of, bonding experience with the community in that way. But yeah, those are the other things that we are going to be adding in once a month as well. We're just trying to kind of put together ideas for what the community would like to do in that sense. So.
Yeah, because we want to let alone are we doing these things because we're going to have a lot of fun doing them. We also want to give back to the community for staying so involved, for staying so plugged into what we're doing, is that we want to give them something. So our biggest idea, at least I know I've thought this, I think this is why Spazzy and myself have gelled so well, is that whatever someone gives you, right? Maybe it's their time, maybe it's their interaction, maybe it's even money, maybe it's that level of monetary, is that whatever they're giving you, they're getting more than what they give you. And that's how I view it as being an entertainer or content creator on these types of platforms, is that they're getting more than what they've invested into you. Once they start to feel vice versa, does that mean I've fallen behind on my level of expectations? I need to reevaluate that. And then when we do these events, same idea, is that I might have thought it went great because I had a blast, but everybody else might have not thought it went that well. And we can double check with each other to make sure we continue to grow and not become stagnant.
Gotcha. And I understand that this is for content creators, not just Twitch streamers. How do you plan to tend to those individuals that don't stream but want to be a part of your community?
Very good question. Are you wanting me to chime in here, Jen?
I mean, either way, I don't mind. I just talk a lot.
Yeah. So right now, as far as the streamers go, we are currently only providing help and stuff like that to Twitch streamers. Now, we are extending out, obviously, with you guys and everything like that, to podcasters as well as YouTubers. Another thing is graphic artists, or artists in general. We want to provide, a outlet for them to be able to show off their work and to be able to work with people in our community. Just like with anything else, they have to be vouched for. They have to go through a process and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much where our extent is currently. Now, if we grow into something bigger down the line, we may extend out that bounds. But at our current point, that's where we're at.
Right. Again, to boil off of what he was just saying is that right now it's Twitch streamers. Why? Because we're all comfortable with what the climate is in that regard. We can take people who aren't so knowledgeable and we can help bring them up. We can take people who are knowledgeable but doing really well, but they kind of feel stuck because they've been in their rigors for so long. It's like they can't see outside the box again. Well, guess what? A different perspective provide that for them. With other content creators, absolutely, we're so happy to be able to work with individuals like yourselves because it allows us now to think outside the box again. How do we get you guys involved? How do we keep you guys more and more as a part of this unit? How do we create graphic artists to be more and more a part of the unit? How do we create, other app developers or things along those lines a part of it? With the more and more that we do this, the more and more conversations that we have, just simply in an everyday aspect, we're going to be able to provide that. And so this is a good example of trying to crisscross entertainment and content creation with those that aren't just Twitch streamers.
So I guess our final question here is, for those who are interested, how would they be able to find you guys and join the 8-Bit Dojo?
Our website directly will take you to anything or any information that you need. It's 8bitdojo.tv, and it's 8bitdojo.tv. So, and besides that, we also have a Twitter. And what else do we have, Jen? I think that's...
And well, along to go with that, we do have our Discord, which you can find on any single one of our streamers' channels. You can click right on the image, the little panel that is there, and it'll take you right to an invite that should be there. If it's expired, let the person know, and that way they can go ahead and update it so that it shouldn't be expired. You have a way to get on in. And
we'll also throw that in the podcast description as well.
Excellent. Yep. Perfect. Good. Because I want people to know where they can go and kind of, test it out, right? Go in there and start talking to people, see if it works for you. Because again, not every single environment is going to work for everyone, but we hope to provide that for anyone who wants to test the water, tip their toe in.
Yeah. And for some strange reason, if it isn't gelling, we love good constructive criticism.
Yep.
Well, awesome. I hope everyone enjoys the 8-Bit Dojo. I'm excited to see what you guys have in store for everyone because I'm excited about this, and that's kind of the reason we had you guys on this podcast. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Gotta get excited.
Absolutely. Pleasure having you guys on.
Yep. Been a blast. Thank you.
And thank you for listening to this episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and rate and subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever else you listen to podcasts. We release a new episode every Wednesday and Friday. And as always, stay rad, comrades.